Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We just finished watching Friday Night Smackdown. If you see this hammer right here, it's for Ghost. No, I was building furniture. So pretty much this Friday Night Smackdown was solid in my opinion. I think through and through it was super solid. I think the crowd sucked. I mean, forgive me, but the crowd was not explosive as much. I know in the very beginning, even with the Tiffany segment, I don't know, the crowd just died down a little bit, but that TLC match at the very end was WrestleMania worthy. And I don't know why that match was not put in WrestleMania. These guys put on a hell of a show. MC, DIY, and Street Profits put on a WrestleMania worthy match. That match went on for like 20 minutes or so. I think they had like 20 or so minutes. And that was enough to make that like a super 5-star match. That match through and through had nothing but just straight action. This is a prime example, and I know I'm over here skipping everything else, but it's a prime example of why you need to keep the tag team, the whole tag team division alive. Give them story, give them substance so that they can go out there and cook. These guys are nice. Even is it Los? Because again, I know I be messing around with Delgado de Fantasma or whatever, Los Garza. I don't know how to pronounce their shit. Excuse me. They put on an amazing match against Fraxium, excuse me. And that match was even fire. This was a prime example of you gotta let these guys cook, but you gotta give them a little bit of a story and substance too. It's been a while since there's been like a really rich tag team story. I don't know what it is. Friday Night Smackdown, SmackDown just got the tag teams on lock. This was a fucking perfect performance, 10 out of 10 with that TLC match. But let's start from the beginning. We're not gonna probably go over everything, but let's just talk about like what we just witnessed. I only wrote a few things in my notes. Selena Vega, she won the women's US championship match, which was great. Aleister Black pulled up, and I think at first everybody was like, whoa, yay, but that crowd just died quick, and it made it seem like his debut back into the WWE, his return, excuse me, was like super underwhelming. And I'm like, yo, dude, how is it just getting a pop? And it just depends on location. It depends on what people want to see. And you know, you also had LA Knight going up against Drew McIntyre, and there's like this storyline that's being created now. And of course, LA Knight's trying to win so that way he can get his opportunity going back for the US title. Jacob Fatu Solo, I think, interferes, doesn't get caught, but Jacob interferes, it ends the whole match. And then Damian Priest interferes on Drew McIntyre's part. It was back and forth chaos. There's a lot of dialogue going on. You had Jade Cargill that just came out that as soon as she started hearing, you know, Tiffany Stratton speak her promo, which was a solid promo, trying to say, you know, it's Tiffy time and Charlotte Flair ain't have what it takes. You know, she's really trying to big herself up. She's giving herself confidence as much as very much she deserves. And then Jade comes out and goes, listen, you haven't versed someone like me. It's time. Like, it's time. So I'm excited. They actually end up doing the match. I said, okay, they have a regular match off. What happens? You have Naomi, which the storyline isn't done. I've been telling people that storyline is not going to be finished anytime soon. I already knew it wasn't going to be done. Some people wanted to say, oh yeah, it's done. No, it wasn't. And I think her whole gimmick is going to be like this: proceed with caution. She's wearing the caution stuff now for a while now. And Naomi just like kind of helped DQ the match basically. And then from that point, you had Nia Jax on the other side, made her return, and she put the beats on Tiffany. She wants to go after Tiffany, and then you got Naomi that's going after Jade. So there's going to be a whole big back and forth feud with that. Now, I wanted to save the John Cena, Randy Orton segment for last. And a couple of the matches that we just saw tonight is also a setup for Backlash as well, which is going to be like in 15 days, which is goddamn like already May 10th. So that's pretty cool. I think that's great. When John Cena came out, let's talk about this segment now. John Cena came out immediately as soon as SmackDown started, and he had a cheering crowd, and then it became a mixed crowd. I realized that his mixed reactions come in on a regular notice when he's just standing still, but as soon as he speaks about himself being one of the GOATs or one of the big, like the main champions, he gets that pop here and there. So he's still getting a mixed crowd. As much as I'm honestly, you can honestly say The Rock did kind of fuck up WrestleMania, the whole storylines and everything going on there, because technically John Cena is supposed to get so much hate. He's disrespecting the shit out of the locker room, the fans at home, the fans in the crowd, everybody, the audience. The whole point is he's supposed to be super hated and just people are cheering, right? But this time he got like a mixed reaction, especially because as soon as he's about to speak, Randy Orton just cuts him off. His theme song goes on and goes off, excuse me. He comes out to the ring and he starts cutting his promo. He goes back and forth with John Cena, and he just really giving John like his almost like flowers, but also letting him know where they come from, how they started, and then just lets him know like this is the hustle, loyalty, and respect gimmick. That wasn't really gimmick. That's who you are. That's what you live for. That was your lifestyle. And pretty much tells him, and this is disrespectful because honestly, I feel like they had to hit home with this because technically they needed something strong with all that backlash that WWE is getting right now. They needed something strong, something efficient that's gonna stick. And Randy Orton told him he needs to have kids. And I said, oh shit, John Cena Randy Orton told John Cena he needed to have kids. John Cena doesn't have kids. You know, he spoke about it many times, and just having to tell somebody that, the whole crowd went off like, oh shit. And John Cena, you know, as much as he's amazing, he's goated, he knew how to cut that promo back and really just respond to it. And then he says the biggest, like, holy shit F you to the crowd and goes, you know why I don't have kids? Because I spent the last 25 years, don't quote me not verbatim, I spent the last 25 years raising everybody's kids in the crowd. And I said, holy shit, he ain't lying. He basically raised generations upon generations of kids who grew up with you know, living by certain rules and wanting to follow positive merits and wanted to do good in life, because that was who he was as a role model. And that was his, and he started disrespecting parents. Then he also calls out somebody from the crowd, a kid, because a 6-year-old sticks up the middle finger, and he promos off of that. Excellent work, man. And he has that kid and his father involved in the promos slightly, and him and Randy are just going back and forth, and then the mic, they start getting louder and louder towards each other. And all of a sudden, John Cena just almost like kind of disrespects the Orton family, that legacy, and goes, you know, you only got 14 championships. I got 17. And I'm going to take this championship home so your whole thing can freeze. And then Orton just gives him his, you know, response saying, look, listen, you're not going to sit here. You're not going to ever tell me anything. You're never going to disrespect me or my family and what we've done. I came out the womb into wrestling, and I'll be damned if you don't disrespect me and my family. So they went at each other heavy. This was a great promo. This was a solid promo. If you guys have not watched, you guys need to watch it. It's probably already up on the site. It was a solid promo. You guys could please drop your thoughts at any point about how you feel about any of these segments. It was such a solid promo. And then, you know, Randy Orton tells him, listen, we don't have to wait for anything. We can fight right now. Just fight me right now. Be a man. And goes, yeah, you want to talk about my family? Yeah. So they made that more personal, and it's good because, again, this feud is it's an instant. So because they took it personal and they have history, this really helps out their story. Because had it been that just a random match like a Damian Priest Drew, it's like, what the fuck? They have so much history, years upon years, that it's really good that when they came together, they really brought it to the times today, and it doesn't seem rushed. The material don't seem rushed. It seems very rich. It seems like, oh my God, they've had something lurking behind the scenes towards each other, and they're gonna have to settle it now in the ring at Backlash. And Randy Orton killed it, man. You got to give Randy Orton his credit. He killed it, and right now I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because it doesn't seem gimmicky. It doesn't seem like, okay, we see The Rock fucked up. Nah, it seemed gimmick. It doesn't seem gimmicky. It seems like a very good, straight to the point promo. And right before that, John Cena like hit him. He threw the belt at him, and he went and, you know, sucker punched him and everything. He tried to pick up the title, and he tried to like hit him over the head with it, but Randy Orton ducked it, of course, and lands him an RKO. So he lands that flat. He was able to secure that, and you can see Randy's just looking, you know, real like insane in the head, sadistic. He's like all fucked up and shit like that. So I'm like, yo, hopefully that whole, you know, legend killer comes back. You know what I'm saying? And he might get the punt kick. You know what I'm saying? So that was great. I do want to add on, going back to that TLC match, that was the greatest shit I've seen in a while. That TLC match was some of the best wrestling that I've seen in a while. This dude, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins deserve so much more. All the guys in that ring, first off, but like Montez Ford impromptu, like how you call it, impromptu or whatever you want to call it, improv. Like some guy, I guess he had like a fake leg and shit like that. Forgive me, I don't know how to like the terms and stuff, but he basically, I think he like showed it to Montez Ford, and Montez Ford grabbed his fake leg, his prosthetic leg, and hit MC with it, and then gave it back to him, and the crowd went crazy. These are the things we kind of need, those fan interactions. That's what has everybody on their seats. You know, you got them paying thousands upon thousands of dollars for these damn seats. The least you could do is have these types of things, and guess what? That was always here. Tag team divisions have always been very engaging. A lot of wrestlers have always been fan interactive, engaging. Just WWE went a different route, and it seems like that's just prohibited. I would love to see more of that. That was excellent. Like, yo, Johnny Gargano, just Ciampa. Like, I don't know how to say it. I call him Ciampa, but I think it's Ciampa. Like, these guys were amazing. Both guys from MC Motor City, fucking phenomenal, man. That was great. But literally, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know it seemed like I rushed this, but I just loved Smackdown tonight. It has some points there where I was like, whatever. But honestly, every match was really solid. I'm glad Selena Vega got her title. You know, she won a US title, which is great. And Chelsea Green held it down. Chelsea Green's a great act. I love Chelsea Green in the ring too, and she's nice with it. Aleister Black, I'm disappointed in the crowd's reaction. Not saying that they have to blast and go crazy, but I kind of know if it was in another location, it would be going nuts. Aleister Black came out with the whole coffin gimmick. He came out risen, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it's just the fans' reaction, man. Fans' reaction. But I'm done. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This was a great segment of SmackDown. I loved it. And hopefully Raw is going to be just as good too. So comment below, subscribe if you are new or whatever. We're trying to bring this channel back up to speed. I appreciate y'all. God bless.